This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good morning, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST, brought by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Tim Dano, and my second season here at Locked On, covering the team on the POSTCAST. And on tonight's show, Julian Garcia was awesome. It's about all we can say about good stuff. The offense was miserable yet again. And was Chase Burns tipping pitches?
This is what you'll be talking about.
Okay, let me just reiterate real quick before we get into this, and everyone just accuses me of doing this. I don't know yes or no if he was or not, but I know that this is one of the rare occurrences where he was really bad. And you would think this is a team he wouldn't be really bad against, right? The Giants made 10 transactions today to their major league roster. They put a couple of guys on the IL. They sent some guys down. They brought some guys up. They had a random, Carson Wisenhunt, got the start, only went 2 2/3 and had an arm injury. They couldn't do anything today. Reaver San Martin came in and pitched an inning against them and got all 3 outs. This is a Giants team who came into this game 26 games under 500. This is a bad loss, right? You know, it's not one that's very good. And the thing that's so frustrating about it is the Giants scored all their runs in the first 2 innings. And then from there was no scoring the rest of the game. The Reds had 5 hits as a team. But here's the thing. I'll get to the offense here in a little bit. But with Burns, again, I'm not saying he was tipping pitches. I was just asked this multiple times during the game by people. And like I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. But this is one of those ones where it wasn't himself. Maybe, I had someone that asked, did he look injured? That was in the chat as well. Shout out Unmasked for saying that. Potentially. Was it potentially just a bad game? Yeah. The best go through bad days. I mean, he still managed to have 5 strikeouts. So when he got this changeup working, it was something. But I also don't blame Terry Francona for pulling him because, yeah, he was at 64 pitches. But the Reds aren't playing for anything. There's no fooling ourselves that they're going to the playoffs anymore. So I'm fine if in September he has like 1 or 2 starts. I don't think there's anything that they really need to use him for at this point. Like, they signed the contract, get ready for next year. He's probably going to be really, really good. And it's one of these things where it was just difficult. I know there's going to be a conversation about this, and I'm willing to hear it. I'll put a question in the chat after the show's done. So if you check out the show later and you want to give your thoughts on it, I want to hear it. And I'll go through this as well. Let's talk about a couple guys in the bullpen, though, because I'm going to do a full segment on Julian Garcia to end the show. But Sam Moll has an inning at third and was nice. Emilio Pagan was really good. Bullpen was great tonight. If there's one thing we can take away from this, was the bullpen was really solid. They had to eat up a lot of innings, though. So I wonder, and Moll threw an inning at third, Garcia threw 2, and Pagan threw an inning. So you don't feel like they're done. Like, you don't feel like they're gone pitchers. It's just the fact that it's like, this is a Giants team who's coming off a sweep against the Red Sox in Fenway, so I had to fly across the country, made all of these changes to their roster, and then the Reds go out there and lay a goose egg. It was kind of frustrating, but let's kind of talk about a few things here at the offense too, shall we?
Since hindsight is always 20/20, let's deliver today's second guess.
What if I told you the Reds have not scored since the second inning yesterday? Was that what it was? Let me look this up real quick just to make sure I'm not wrong. The third inning. Sorry. The Reds have not scored since the third inning on Sunday against the Diamondbacks. So that is 15 straight innings without a run. This offense is disastrous. This offense is not going anywhere. And tonight they had 5 hits. They had 11 strikeouts as a team. They drew 2 walks the whole night. Stephenson drew 1. Stephenson was on base 3 times tonight. That's a plus. Ivan Johnson drew 1. I don't know where you guys are with Ivan Johnson. I don't want to say anything bad about the kid because I know he's trying his hardest out there and he's just trying to stick in the big leagues. I don't watch him and think big leaguer. Like, Hector Rodriguez's numbers aren't great by any stretch of the matter, but I watch Hector Rodriguez and I go, he's got the tools to be a big leaguer. I just don't think that with I watch Ivan Johnson. And I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. But, he does, like I say, draws a walk tonight. He's got a 306 OPS. And, he's only had, 14 at bats. So he can break out in in September, maybe. I mean, the schedule's pretty tough. He did play in the World Baseball Classic for his country. So that's cool. And maybe it was just gets his first taste. And next year, he kind of finds the ground because the walks are there. Like, he can draw a walk. He's got 3 of them on the year. And maybe this is a thing where, look, Tim, he has 14 at bats. Calm down. Could be. I want to like him. I want to believe in him. I just am not there quite yet. Matt McClain has 1 hit on this road trip between Arizona and San Francisco. It is a homer, but it's right back to being bad. But that double play was awesome. That was pretty cool. There's no world, lefty or righty on the mound, where I want Matt McClain hitting above 8th. And maybe that's mean, but it seems like anytime he goes into the middle of the order, he doesn't hit. When he's down there in that last 3 is when he hits. And that's when you see him kind of be pretty good. And I know someone will often come in here. We used to do this with Jonathan India, right? Where we thought Jonathan, you could only hit leadoff. And when he took him out of leadoff, he didn't hit very well. But I think McClain's the bottom of the order kind of hitter for the time being. Maybe 27, if there is a 27, he finds his stride again. I hope so. I mean, it's, he's definitely talented. Again, the double play was cool. He's got a 647 OPS, which obviously is below league average, but he's slugging. He's got a 480 slugging in his last 7 games. So he hits homers most of the time. I think you can live with that, especially at the bottom of the order. But they got to get some stuff figured out. I mean, I think I knew when Ellie had that ABS challenge to strike out to start the game, I was like, this probably isn't going to be good. But Ellie and Sal Stewart get hits. They also combined for 4 strikeouts tonight. So there's that. 0 for 5 with runs score possession, leave 7 on base. I'm going to say, when you lose these games by 4 or 5 runs and you leave 7 on base, you're not giving yourself a chance to win. And that's the part that's difficult here. Nikita said it. It's another loss by 5 runs or more. And there's been too many of those. So I don't know where the Reds go from here. I know it's, a long September. They're now 8 games under 500. I don't know. So I'll get your guys' thoughts in the chat tonight after the show, because I can't post in the comment section the questions I have during the show. But I'm really curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on a few things. But let's see how things go. Jason says, they haven't lost 100 games. This isn't the worst Reds team ever. Jason, you're right. They have not lost 100 games. But my hot take is this is more disappointing than the 100-loss season in 22. Because they sold all their guys off, right? Once they were able to go back to spring training, they sold all their guys off. They didn't re-sign Nick Castellanos, which aged pretty well, but in the time frame, no. I mean, Mike Moustakas was still on the team because they couldn't get anyone to take his contract. They trade Gino and Jesse Winker in spring training. They trade Luis Castillo at the deadline. Here, they put a roster together thinking they could compete for the NL Central, and they have done nothing. Ricky says, all I hear is how bad Will Benson is, and tell me it could be any worse than the rest of the... Ricky, my guy, I've been talking about this for weeks, so I'm glad you said this. I know I need to go to break. Will Benson has a 650 ERA. OPS. TJ Friedl is still in the big league roster with a 455? Not good is what I'm getting to. So I'm not saying Benson's going to change everything, but I'm all for if they purchase Benson's contract and put him back on the big league roster to finish out the season. I feel like we know who he is. Like I said, he can't be worse than Friedl. I completely agree. But the roster construction is what's so frustrating because it's Key Brian Hayes, you can make the case of, he hits the ball hard. He gets a lot of outs. He plays a good third base. Okay, defensive replacement, end of games. Cool. Too much money for a defensive replacement? I agree. TJ Friedl, though, brings, he's an okay fielder. I mean, there's that part. I like Dane Myers. I know Dane Myers doesn't play defense so well of late, but this is where things kind of go. But I do need to take a break. And when I come back, I'm going to talk about Julian Garcia because something had to be good tonight. But first, a big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited break. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy the back-to-school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, then suddenly you're shopping for supplies, clothes, lunch gear, tech, and about 10 other things you didn't see coming. It adds up quick. When you look at the school supply list and you wonder if you're shopping for one child or opening a small business office supply store. I didn't realize first grade required this much inventory. Shopping like this can get out of control if you're not careful. When the school says your child needs a calculator, headphones, tablet for class, and somehow you're buying another one before the semester's halfway over. Since when do kids need so much tech for third grade? So remember, with Amazon's low back-to-school prices, just spend less on your kids, because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school on Amazon and spend less on your kids. Thank you for continuing to make Locked On Reds your first listen each and every day, whether it's with me catching up after the game on the postcast the next morning or Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds as well. We love our everydayers. And also, if you are an everydayer, please be sure to join the Locked On Reds Everydayer Club as well. If you go to lockedonreds.supercast.com, get access to ad-free episodes of all your favorite Locked On shows for $5 a month or $50 a year. And you also get access to our Discord chat as well. And like Jeff and Steve said, they're putting together, they're going to announce soon a Microsoft Teams date. I think it's Teams. Or Zoom. I can't remember exactly. They'll say on the show, but where they're going to do a chat, but you have to be in the Everydayer Club to be able to join. Let's talk about our guy today, Julian Garcia.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right. So Julian Garcia today was one of the few bright spots, right? Him and Tyler Stephenson. He goes 2 innings, does get a strikeout. His ERA is down to 2.51. And he's one of those guys where, like, I don't mean this to be mean by any stretch of the matter because he's pitching really well, but I don't know how he's doing it. Like, I know some of the stuff is that he gets lucky, but like at some point luck turns into being good. You know what I mean? Like in his last 23 games, he's got a 2.51 ERA and 32 innings with 29 strikeouts, and his whip is under 1. At some point you just look at it and go, okay, that guy's pretty good. And obviously his story's awesome, right? This is a guy who'd been in the minors for 10 years waiting for his chance to get to the big leagues and has ran with it. He has taken that ball and ran with it and been really, really good for the Reds this year. When their bullpen was really looking for stability, he's been awesome, right? He's been really good. And you look at what he kind of brings to the table. This is a guy who was drafted in the 10th round in 2016. That guy's not supposed to make the big leagues, right? That's not how this goes. I mean, you know, you ask my good friend Carlos Guevara about the draft, and he'll tell you, he's like, yeah, they've got 777 rounds. They're looking for 2 big leaguers. Everything else is to fill depth in the minor league system. So Julian Garcia came up in June and has been really good. I'm looking at his last few games. So Arizona goes 2 2/3, shutout ball. St. Louis goes an inning, shutout ball. Tonight goes 2 innings, shutout ball. He's been fantastic. I don't know what more you could ask from him. So yeah, I'm talking a lot about Julian Garcia, but like I said, he's a high note right now. I'm trying to see the last time he gave up a run. Bear with me here, folks. I know this is great reading. Was August 13th against the White Sox. So he has now since then pitched in 4 games. In that 4 games, he has 6 2/3 innings without giving up a run. I don't know what more you can ask for from him. So really nice day for him. Kind of do the round out here. Like I said, Ellie goes 1 for 4, 3 strikeouts. I really thought that maybe this would be a day he could do pretty well. Sal Stewart goes 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Dane Myers goes 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Tyler Stephenson does go 2 for 3 with a walk. Gino goes 1 for 4 with 2 Ks. Matt McClain 0 for 4. Bleday 0 for 4. Trevino 0 for 3. Ivan Johnson 0 for 2 with a walk. Not great, but I'll tell you, defense tonight was pretty fun. Matt McClain made that awesome double play. JJ Bleday and Matt McClain worked that really good relay. That basically textbook to get the out at home to kind of limit Chase Burns and runs given up in the first inning. Those were cool plays. I know the defense isn't necessarily been good all year, but sometimes you get these really nice moments, and I think that's what really matters here. But unfortunately, such is life. The Reds are losers tonight in San Francisco against a team that's like basically a AAA team, 5-0. The Giants have 5 runs on 10 hits and 0 errors. The Reds have 0 runs on 5 hits and no errors. Your winning pitcher tonight is Jason Foley. He is now 1-1 with a 346 earned run average. Chase Burns takes us just his 3rd loss of the year. He is 14-3 with a 2.77 ERA. And yes, I agree. Shut him down. But the Reds are back at it tomorrow night at GAB. I mean, not GBP, but at Petco Park, and not even Petco Park. I will get this right at some point. Anywho, the Reds are back at it in San Francisco tomorrow, once again at 9:45 Eastern. Brady Singer takes the hill for the Reds. He is 5-11 with a 4.72 earned run average. He will be going up against Adrian Hauser, the Giants, who is 4-7 with a 4.05. So I guess we're looking at another midnight postcast tomorrow. But everyone, again, thank you so much for making Locked On Reds your first listen each and every day, whether it's me or it's Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday as well. Please be sure to hit that notification button here on YouTube. Also hit the subscription button. And if I can ask Bleday for you to like this video, that would help us out a lot as well. And don't forget to subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice so you can take us with you wherever you go. On behalf of tonight's show, I'm Tim Daniel. Thank you all again for staying up with me during this West Coast trip. We have another one next month. Go Red Legs. I'll see you tomorrow.